Hello students, welcome back to Vidyalakshmi CBSE School YouTube channel. So this is your chemistry teacher Ajit Kumar. So in the previous videos, we have started to discuss about the carbon and its compounds chapter. And to be specifically in the previous video, we started discussing about covalent bond formation in certain compounds. We have discussed with the examples. And we started off discussing about the unique properties of carbon, that is we call it as versatile nature of carbon. Namely, we studied about catenation as well as tetravalency. So this is about the previous videos. In this video, we are going to entirely discuss about hydrocarbons. We are going to learn what is hydrocarbon, what are the types of hydrocarbon that exist, and most importantly, we are going to discuss and learn about the electron structures of these hydrocarbons. So from this chapter, the most important topic is about electron dot structures, and we are going to discuss in detail in this video. Okay, so let us start with this topic, hydrocarbon. With the topic, we could easily guess what is it. Hydrocarbon. Hydro represents hydrogen atom and carbon represents carbon atom, right? So hydrocarbons are nothing but compounds which consists of only hydrogen and carbon, nothing else. Only it will have hydrogen atom and carbon atom. So in that, what are the criteria present, what are the types present, that is what we are going to discuss. So mainly it is being classified as saturated hydrocarbon and unsaturated hydrocarbon. In the previous video we would have discussed saturated compound, unsaturated compound. Saturated is nothing but the compounds which is having single bonds between carbon-carbon atoms, single bonded, and unsaturated compounds, it will be either double bonded or triple bonded, double or triple bonds. So in the same way, hydrocarbons are also classified as saturated hydrocarbon and unsaturated hydrocarbon. So we are going to see that what saturated hydrocarbon, what is going to be there, and unsaturated hydrocarbon, what are the things going to be there. Okay, so it has been classified as alkane, alkene and alkyne. Alkane, alkene and alkyne. These terms would be new to you. So what does this alkane, alkene and alkyne represent? Alkane is a series of compounds consisting of hydrocarbons which have only single bonds between carbon and carbon atom. Whereas in the case of alkene series of compounds, it would be having a double bond between any two carbon atom in the chain of that compound. The same way, alkyne series, it will be having triple bond between carbon-carbon atoms in that compound. So we are going to learn what are the formulas to be followed for this series and what are the prefix words to be given based upon the number of carbon present. Everything we are going to learn now. Okay. So if a compound consists of only one carbon, so such kind of carbons, the prefix word will be given as meth. It will be given as meth. And then if it is having two carbon atoms in that chain, then it will be called as eth. If it is having 3, we call it as prop. If it is having 4, we call it as but. And if it is having 5 carbon atoms, we call it as pent. So these are the prefix words to be given to the compound based upon the number of carbon atoms present in that compound. Okay, so let me write it here clearly. Number of carbon present. So for this, n is equal to 1, and for this n is equal to 2. N represents number of carbon atoms, okay, and for prop n is equal to 3, for but n is equal to 4, and for pent N is equal to 5. The remaining things we will discuss in the next slide. So, each series has got a separate formula to be followed. For alkane series of compounds, the formula to be followed is CnH2n plus 2. Okay, so for alkane, the formula to be followed is CnH2n plus 2. The same way for alkene series, the formula is as follows: CnH2n. That's it. So for this CnH2n plus 2, that is for alkane. For alkene, CnH2n, and for alkyne, it is going to be CnH2n minus 2. Okay, you may wonder what is that N represent in that formula present. N represents number of carbon atoms present. For example, if we take meth, N is equal to 1. So, we are going to substitute 1 wherever we find the variable N. The same way it is applicable for alkene series as well as alkyne series. So, in the beginning, you have to be very clear with the formula for each series for alkane, alkene and alkyne. And the other thing, the most important thing is you have to remember the prefix words for the number of carbon atoms present in each compound. Okay. So, let us start doing with the first N is equal to 1, that is 1 carbon present in a compound. So, for this alkane series, we are going to take 1 carbon atom, N value is 1. So, I am going to substitute 1 here, C1H 2 into 1 plus 2. This is what follows, C1H 2 into 1 plus 2. So, we know we can simplify it as CH 2 ones are 2 and plus 2 it follows 4. So, the chemical formula of this compound is going to be CH4. Okay. Now, how to name this compound? For alkane series, always the prefix word is going to be a constant thing. Either it is alkane, alkene or alkyne, prefix words will be the same thing, it will be constant. But the suffix word is going to be changed according to the series. For alkane series, the suffix word is going to be ANE. The same way for alkene series, the suffix word is going to be ENE. And for alkyne series, it is going to be YNE. Okay. So, that suffix word is also important to be remembered. Now, for this compound, prefix word is meth and the suffix word is ANE. So, together if we join, we get the name as methane. That's it. Okay. So, accordingly we are going to use the formula, we are going to fix the prefix word and also we are going to fix the suffix word. Let us go for eth. For eth, the N value is 2. So, let me substitute the value as C2H 2 into 2 plus 2. Okay. So, C2H 2 2s are 4 and 4 plus 2 8. Sorry, 2 2s are 4, 4 plus 2 6. So, C2H6 and the name for this compound is going to be, prefix is eth and suffix is ANE. So, the name is going to be ethane. I hope you guys can follow this. You are going to substitute the N value in the formula, you are going to simplify it and write the simplified formula, and at the last we are going to give a name to the compound using the prefix word and suffix word respectively for the series which is there. Let us move to the prop N is equal to 3. Okay. So, for this C3H 2 into 3 plus 2. Okay. So, let me simplify this. C3H 2 3s are 6 and 6 plus 2 is 8. So, C3H8, which implies prop is the prefix word and ANE is the suffix word. So, together we are going to write it as propane. This is how it goes. Okay. I hope you can follow and you can also start doing there with the things available now. So, bute, we are going to see for the 4 carbon atoms present in a compound. So, the formula we are going to substitute C4H 2 into 4 plus 2. So, what is going to be the final value? C4 H, 2 4s are 8, 8 plus 2 is 10. So C4H10. The name is going to be, prefix is but and suffix is ane. So together we are going to call it as butane. Right. So in the same way for the pent, 5 carbon atoms present in a compound, directly I will just write it C5H12 and the name is going to be pentane. Yes, I hope you all can understand. So the main part is you have to know the formula correctly and you have to know the prefix and suffix words to be given to the name given to a compound. Okay. So for the first 5 compounds I have done here, I hope you can do for the 6 to 10 carbon atoms and I will give you the prefix words for those also. Now let us go to alkene and alkyne series. In alkane series, let us start with meth. N is equal to 1. Okay. So C1H2 into 1. Okay. So what is going to be the final simplified formula? CH2. Right. But the thing is, each carbon should have 4 bonds, 4 completely occupied bonds. Whereas here, carbon is having only 2 hydrogen atoms. The remaining 2 bonds are unbonded, so that this compound is not possible to exist. The thing is, carbon must have 4 bonds around it. Only then that compound will be able to exist. If it is not having completely filled 4 bonds, then that compound could not exist in this nature. Okay. So meth in alkane series is not going to exist. Let us go for eth. C2H2 into 2. Right. So the formula is going to be C2H4. Right. Now let us give the name. Prefix is eth and suffix is ene. Whereas in alkane we saw it as ane. In alkane it is going to be ene. Therefore, the name is going to be ethene. Okay. So in the same way for prop, C3H2 into 3. So the simplified formula is going to be C3H6. Now the name to this compound is prop and the suffix word is ene. So it is going to be propene. Okay. In the same way for but, I will directly write the formula C4H8 and the name is going to be butane. For 5 carbon atoms, C5H10, the name is going to be pentane. So for alkane also, alkane we have practiced. Let us move on to the alkyne series. Okay. As we discussed here, carbon must have 4 bonds. Let us see whether in alkyne series meth is existing or not. C1H2 into 1 minus 2. If we simplify this, CH 2 ones are 2, 2 minus 2, 0. So which means that no hydrogen atom is present there and all the 4 bonds are unoccupied, which is vacant there. So that compound is not possible to exist. Okay. So let us move on to the next 2 carbon atoms. Eth C2H2 into 2 minus 2. So the simplified formula is going to be C2H, 2 2s are 4, 4 minus 2 is 2, C2H2, and the name for this compound is going to be, prefix is eth and suffix here we have to see clearly, it is YNE. So therefore it should be pronounced as ethine. You just compare and see, this is ethane, this is ethene and this is ethine. Okay, fine. Next 3 carbon atom, C3H2 into 3 minus 2. Okay. So C3H, 2 3s are 6 and 6 minus 2 is 4. So C3H4, and the name for this compound is going to be propine. So for the next C4H 2 into 3 minus 2 into 4 minus 2, which implies C4, 2 4s are 8, 8 minus 2 is 6, C4H6, and the name is going to be butane. Okay, so for the last thing, 5 carbon atoms, let us substitute C5H 2 into 5 minus 2. So if we simplify, the formula is going to be C5H8, and the name for this compound is going to be pentine. So that's it for the, I've done it for the first 5 the first 5 prefix words: meth, eth, prop, but and pent. So the remaining things we are going to see in the next slide. Before that, you people have to be very thorough with the formula for each series, prefix words with the respective number of carbon atoms present, as well as the prefix word and the suffix word to be given to the name of that compound. Okay, so let us move to the next slide. The same way I am going to draw it for the 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, and we are going to apply the same formula for those compounds. Okay, so for 6, the prefix word is going to be X. N is equal to 6. For 7, the prefix word is going to be hept. N is equal to 7. For 8, it is going to be oct. N is equal to 8. For 9, it is going to be non. N is equal to 9. And for 10, it is going to be dec, and N is equal to 10. Okay, so for this we are going to see it in alkane, and alkyne. After discussing all the compounds, formula and name, we are going to focus on the electron dot structure of all these compounds. Okay, so let us move on to the X in alkane series. The formula for alkane is, already we have known, CnH2n plus 2. Okay, so let us substitute C6H2 into 6 plus 2. Am I right? Yes, C6H2 into 6 plus 2. The simplified formula is going to be C6H2 6 are 12 plus 2 14. So C6H14 is going to be the formula, and the name for this compound is going to be hexane. Since this is alkane series, the suffix is ane and the compound name is going to be hexane. Next, hept, C7H2 into 7 plus 2. So the formula, simplified formula is going to be C7H, 2 7s are 14, 14 plus 2 16. So C7H16, and the name for this compound is heptane. Okay, so for next oct, so let me directly write the simplified formula C8H18, and the name is going to be octane. And next, 9 carbon atoms, C9H20, which is going to be called as nonane. And for dec, C10H22, and the name for this compound is going to be decane. I hope you all can follow this. I have directly substituted the n value in the formula, and I have written the simplified form directly here. Okay. So for alkane series, for the first 10 compounds we have practiced now. Let us move on to the alkene series from, okay. So X, we are going to see C6H2 into 6. Since the formula is CnH2n, directly I am substituting the n value there. and the simplified formula is going to be C6H12. Okay, so the name for this compound is going to be, prefix is X and suffix is going to be ENE, therefore it is called as hexene. Okay, fine. Now let us move on to 7 carbon atoms. C7H 2 into 7, that's it, C7H, I mean the formula is CnH2n, I have substituted the n value there, C7H 2 into 7, and the formula, simplified formula is going to be C7H14, and the name of this formula compound is going to be heptene. Next 8 carbon atoms, C8H 2 into 8, the simplified is C8H16, and the name of this compound is going to be octane. Next 9 carbon atoms, C9H 2 into 9, which implies C9H18, and the name of this compound is nonene. And finally the 10 carbon atoms, C10H 2 into 10, which implies C10H20, and the name of this compound is going to be decene. So for alkane and alkane series, we have discussed about the first 10 carbon compounds, and finally we are moving to the alkyne series with the X number of carbon 6, and the formula for alkyne series is CnH2n minus 2. Okay, so let us substitute C6H2 into 6 minus 2, which implies C6H12 minus 2 6 are 12, 12 minus 2 10, so C6H10, and the name of this compound is going to be X, the prefix is X, and for alkyne series we know that the suffix word is going to be YNE, ine, therefore together we call it as hexine. Okay. Next we are going to see about 7 carbon atoms, C7H2 into 7 minus 2, which implies C7H, 2 7s are 14, 14 minus 2 is 12, so C7H12, and the name of this compound is going to be heptine. The same way we are going to do for the remaining compounds, C8H2 into 8 minus 2, so the simplified formula is C8H14, and the name is going to be octane. But the next thing is C9H2 into 9 minus 2, so this is going to be C9H16, and the name is non-ine. And the last thing, C10H2 into 10 minus 2, which implies C10H18, and the name is going to be decine. Okay, so this is about the classification of hydrocarbons as alkane, alkene and alkyne. At this level, first 10 compounds is enough. The main thing you have to remember is prefix words for the values of n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2 till 10, and the formula for alkane series, that is CnH2n plus 2, and for alkane it is CnH2n, and for alkyne CnH2n minus 2. So if you clearly understand the formula, the number of carbon atoms and the respective prefix words and respective suffix words for all the series, definitely you can learn writing the formula of these compounds and finding the name of these compounds. So the next step that we are going to see is to see how these compounds are formed with the help of electron dot structures. Okay, even in the previous video we have discussed the electron dot structures of hydrogen molecule, oxygen molecule, nitrogen molecule. These molecules we have discussed. Now we are going to see the electron dot structures of these compounds, and I am going to solve few compounds electron dot structures, and you will be able to clearly understand how these compounds are being formed, what kind of bond is formed between them, and we know already carbon forms covalent bond, and how that covalent bond is formed. All these things we are going to see in the next video. I hope this video is helpful. Be thorough with these formulas and with the compound names so that it will be helpful to you while learning the electron structures. Okay, thank you students.